Hey, it's Sebastian, and today we are going to talk about increased offers for the Citi Premier card. We're going to talk about the two different ways that you can get this and some strategies that you might want to consider, as well as basics about the card that you probably want to know about before applying for it. This increased offer is going to be worth about $750 in airfare, so pretty good offer. And before we dive into it, let me know down below if you like videos like this, and if you do, give this a thumbs up. Pretty easy way to support the channel. With the Premier card, we have the normal offer, we have the increased offer, and then there's an additional strategy that you can take to apply for the normal offer to match it to that elevated offer. That might sound a bit confusing right now, but we'll put some numbers behind it. The normal offer is 50,000 points after $4,000 in minimum spend in the first 3 months. The annual fee is going to be waived here. The elevated offer is 60,000 points after $4,000 in minimum spend in the first 3 months, and the annual fee is not waived. Annual fee for the elevated offer is $95, so the big difference that you're seeing is, would you pay $95 more for 10,000 more points? But the interesting strategy that seems to be working right now at least is people are applying for the lower offer and matching to the higher offer, so effectively getting 60,000 points and not paying an annual fee. The strategy might not last forever though, so I would recommend reading the comments below to see if it's still working, just because it might not work. This is pretty different from a lot of other issuers who typically do not match you if the annual fee is different. So of Chase, a few different people have asked me about the Chase Sapphire preferred 50K versus 60K of the annual fee, and they haven't matched because annual fee has been different. Given this, the current optimal strategy is going to be applying for that 50K offer with the annual fee waived and matching over to the 60K offer with the annual fee still waived. You can do this by doing chats with Citi on their website, and if you need to, you can probably call in to do it, but I feel like chat's the easiest way. If this stops working, and again, I'd check the comments down below, even if it doesn't work, I think the 60K with a $95 annual fee is well worth it. The points here are going to be redeemable for airfare at 1.25 cents per point, so 60,000 points times 1.25 is $750. Go to the blog post down below for links to both of the offers, and also if you want to skim read the rest of the information we're going to talk about for the card in case you're getting pretty trigger happy to apply for it. I'd still recommend spending 30 seconds skimming that stuff in case there's something that you aren't aware of. If you're looking to apply for other cards in the future, a pretty easy way to support our channel would be to use the links on our site or the links in the description box down below. The first major thing you need to know about is that you can actually transfer these points out to partners. Initially, I talked about the $750 and that was booking airfare. I think that's still pretty good for new people who don't want to go through the hassle of transferring points out and dealing with all of that. But if you're someone in the intermediate or advanced levels, transferring is the key. The best partners here are probably going to be Virgin Atlantic, Singapore, as well as Etihad. In a past American Express points video, I talked about and walked through transferring points over to Virgin Atlantic to book first class and business class flights for ANA. Similar strategy here, you would want to wait for that increased transfer offer, and the points are pretty valuable, especially if you're saving out on using American Express points. The other two I'll probably do other videos on because I think it might be a bit too much for an increased offer video, but let me know in the comments down below if you do want to see those. With these types of transfers, most people value it at 2 cents per point, so 60,000 points times 2 cents per point is going to be $1,200 in value. In a lot of cases, this is going to be conservative relative to the retail price, and it's kind of the idea that you're using what a lot of other people would consider good deals. Maybe you wouldn't be willing to pay this, but a lot of people who do first and business class, if you go on Flyer Talk, this is a bargain. If you're willing to pay more for this normally, then maybe 3 cents per point if you're someone who does this normally anyways, or if you're someone who doesn't care about these YOLO-esque experiences, then maybe just do that 1.25 cents per point for airfare and leave it at that. The next thing you need to know is that this card is affected by Citi's 2-year rule for the family of cards. We have a whole nother video talking about the specifics if you want to check it out after this video, but you don't really need to worry if you haven't gotten the Prestige or any other thank you earning card in the last 2 years. If you have, then there is a clock that you need to be aware of that might make you ineligible for this bonus. It's also going to be affected by the other Citi application rules, so I'll leave that down below as well because I don't want to go through everything. You're probably going to be aware of a lot of these already, like 265 and 1/8. Number 3, this card has very good earn rates for a lot of different things. With the Premier card, you're looking at 3x points back for travel, including gas stations, and pretty much anything else that would code as travel: airfare, hotels, car rentals, public transportation, tolls, parking. You're also going to earn 2x back for restaurants as well as entertainment, from lunch to bars, to sporting events, to movie theaters, to concerts. You earn 1x back for everything else. For the 3x categories, if you do the simple method of 1.25 cents per point for flights, then you're going to get 3.75% return on spend. If you're doing the advanced method of transfer partners, you're getting 6% return on spend. For gas, I think this is a very strong one. For the other travel ones, it really depends on the other cards you have and the setups you're running, but I think it's pretty advantageous and competitive, especially if you are doing the transfer partner rates. Strength of transfer partners and the availability of the ones you like might also play a role here, so something for you to look into if you are thinking of this as a long-term card rather than something you're trying out. For the 3x ones, I would argue it's pretty competitive to the other cards, and then for the 2x ones, not as much, just because at that 1.25 rate, you're looking at 2.5% return on spend, and then at the 2 cents per point rate, you're looking at 4% return on spend. For the entertainment, it's not too bad, but for restaurants, I feel like there's other cards that just do substantially better. The final thing is that with Citi cards, with most of them at least, other than the Costco card for example, you can product change to most of their other cards. So if you don't like this card after the first year, you can always downgrade it to something like the Citi Double Cash card or the Citi Dividend card, which is probably the best downgrade path that no one really talks about. Be aware that if you do downgrade the card, it might affect the 24-month clock, depending on if the card number changes and how Citi decides to treat things in the future. The main takeaway from the video is that I think the card is worth grabbing right now, especially if you want that increased bonus, whether you're matching it or directly applying for it. And also the card has a lot of long-term viability if you are someone that spends in these categories, entertainment being a very interesting one. If you're someone that doesn't want to deal with Chase or American Express, this is a very viable card as your everyday card. Good short-term and good long-term, coupled with the fact that you can downgrade the card if it doesn't make sense to no annual fee cards, make it a very interesting proposition for a lot of people. Is this card worth a Chase slot? I don't really think so, just because the Chase cards have very good bonuses, as well as downgrade paths for a lot of them, or the other ones tend to be keeper cards, so I would still prioritize that personally, but your mileage may vary. Do what makes sense for you. Again, if you are someone that wants to learn more about any cards, pretty easy way to support our channel is typically to use the links on our site or the links in the description box that are below of the videos. Hopefully that was helpful, and my question for you guys is, what are your thoughts on the card, and also what are your thoughts on this bonus? Let me and the community know down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, it really helps us out. If you know anyone else who'd benefit from what we just talked about, feel free to share the video with them, because it's probably going to help them out. But otherwise, hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time.